What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the ORGS podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Silva, and I'm here to bring you another interview today. Yes, we got my friend in the house. He's very much new to ORGS, just like myself, but he's done a lot of good stuff in a short amount of time, and he's recently even dipped into LRGs. So let's give it up for my boy, Johnny Ventura. What's up, Johnny?
Hey, what's good, mother effers?
Ooh.
I'm keeping it PG. I'm not gonna.
Hey, do what you got to do. It's all good. But this has been a long time coming. I know we've been talking about this for a while, and I've been wanting to have you on. But it's about 7 weeks ago. There was a crazy storm that happened here, and I think that was around the time when we were first talking about it,
Yeah,
getting you on here. And I lost power for 7 days.
I
Finally
heard.
got it back, and then 3 weeks later, I had another hurricane, which just hit not even 2 weeks ago, and I was without power for 11 days. So I'm like, geez, I don't even know when I'm gonna be able to do anybody's interviews, but I'm
Yeah,
really glad to have you here today.
I
Because
appreciate that.
one, we've been getting really close, just on some friendship stuff, and that's always great to have in the org universe. And then also, you've been doing very well. You've been, like I said, you actually had something come out today. But before we get into that, real quick, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do, and how you actually got into all this.
Oh yeah. Also, I'm happy you're safe and where I don't know. I think you live in Texas. You gotta get out of there, bro. That sounds like a whole
Ah,
mess.
yeah.
Um, but yeah. I'm Johnny. I'm 37. I'm from New Jersey. Um, I run a dispensary, so you know, not only that, but like I'm a medical patient. So if a lot of people usually see me smoking in these games and stuff, and it's really for medication.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm just very new to these parts. Whenever I do have free time, I mean, I'm usually very busy with work, but whenever I do have free time, if I'm not, hanging out with some friends or just out, taking care of errands or whatever, I've been starting to embrace the org community. My way into this is going to kind of coincide with something we're going to talk about shortly, which is an LRG I played. But basically, I made a lot of good connections through that game. One of them being Steven Mitchell. He goes by Sunshine as well. But Steven one day had asked me like, "Hey, of somebody's running a kind of like a what do you call them, online game, and do you want to give it a shot?" And I was like, I guess I don't know how it would work, but I gave it a shot. Basically, it was like we had like very minor challenges and stuff like that. I just remember like being so shy and like I was doing it on my cell phone, so like my picture was the smaller box and stuff.
Yep.
Um, but I did well. Like I used to always play a lot of sports, basketball. I'm tall. I have very good like hand-eye coordination and stuff. So I did pretty good in these challenges and stuff. But then I got taken out due to somebody in a alliance that I was brought into didn't save me in a safety chain, and it's because they
Mm,
didn't know me. They didn't even remember that I was on their squad. So I got
dang.
taken out, and I just remember having this feeling like, yo, this was pretty dope. How do I do more of this? And then I found out about Survivor Vanquish and um, applied for that, and then that kind of is where things kind of took off.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I remember seeing you in I forgot, I think it was, I don't know what mini it was, but it was a mini. And, I know I told you this before, but I thought you were in a sauna. And I thought you were chilling in the sauna. And,
Yeah,
and I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. Like, I want to play from a sauna one day.
I'm dead.
And, because, like, literally one of my favorite three things in life is sitting in the sauna. I love the sauna.
Okay.
It's like one of the things I do. I do it like 6 times a week, literally, and I only take the day off because I need to hold some water in my body. But yeah, yeah. When I first saw you, I can't remember what game, if it was Traders or just, it was a mini for sure. But you did really
Yeah.
well, and I'm still new too, so I didn't know that you were brand new either at that time. I just, saw somebody playing and I was like, yo, this guy plays really good. Like, I was like, that's what's up. So that's how like I kind of like got onto your trail, and then of course we started playing other games, and uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, so when I was definitely like, yo, this is a different type of player, because a lot of the players I saw, um, but again, this is without knowing a bunch of people. This is just from what I saw at the beginning. There was a lot of people that I saw same like the play the same way. But I
Yeah.
also learned that you got to play really different from in minis and in long games. And my first two games ever
Right.
were long games, so I didn't even know what a mini was. Playing these orgs, I know you've won a couple, right? You've won minis, of course.
Yeah, I won a shitload of minis. But long game wise, I don't even know if I ever want to play a long game again. To me, I feel like a long game is just a mini with breaks, with long breaks.
Yeah.
But there's also the aspect of making connections, and having more time to do that. So, but I just never had like a real good experience with the long games. To be honest, I think I played maybe two of them. One of
Yep.
them was actually I played three. Two of them were Vanquish games,
Okay.
and I mean those probably counted as minis because they were like 2 day games. No, sorry, I played a mini which was fans versus favorites. So tune in, check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. It was the most recent one. Oh
That's the
wait, you
one
might
that
have
had
to.
all the like reality stars on there, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
in the one I played, actually I think it's the one right before the most recent, if I have to correct myself. But the one I played had like Mama Fee in it. We had Izzy. We had just a bunch of people.
Wasn't Cam was on that one too, right?
Yeah, Cameron,
Yep. That's
um
what's up. That's what's up.
Portia from Big Brother, which funny enough, her and I had a little bit of a rivalry that game. She ended up taking me out. I ended up taking her votes one round and stuff, so it was kind of funny.
That's
Um,
fun.
but no, definitely, I thought you were already a veteran because when I was getting ready for my first Vanquish game, I was looking at previous videos and just trying to get a feel for like how to play and what they expect. And I just remember seeing you in different seasons, or I forgot what it was, but I just remember seeing you in a bunch of stuff, and I was like, oh wow, this guy must be really super involved. So it's kind of funny that you're new to this as well.
Yeah, that's funny because I know you said what January of this year was your first.
Yeah,
Yeah, so September was my first one, which was like 3 or 4 months before that. But in those 3 or 4 months, literally, I just did two Vanquish games back to back. So it was Survivor, and then it was Big Brother, and I made them pretty far in both of them. So yeah, there was probably some footage of me in both of those. But yeah, that's crazy. I do want to come back do want to come back to orgs, but I
yes,
also want to, since you had something drop today, I actually want to talk about that um, for many reasons, which is an LRG, a live reality game, and those have actually like been in my interest a lot. I think it's been in everybody's interest, but
yeah.
they're starting to actually like pop off, and they're having like all these different ones, and they're really getting a lot of shine right now. And you were just in one of them that dropped today, Survivor Philadelphia. So tell us a little bit about that. I know you can't say too much because it hasn't all fully dropped yet, but give us what you can. Just tell us about it. Like, give us a little bit of the experience.
Yeah, definitely. So it's funny because I had no idea about orgs until I played at LRG. So LRG was my first time actually even playing one of these type of games. I guess from a social strategy aspect. Um, so it honestly, it's like a moment in time that's like I'm never gonna forget, and that I just gonna want to do over and over again if whenever possible. But it was just amazing, like from the casting, from meeting all of these great folks like Alex Gardner, Matt Scott. You might catch Matt Scott. He does a lot of stuff with Rob has a podcast.
Oh, dope.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. So like just meeting all of these people, and it's funny because I found it through Bryce. I don't know if you know who Bryce Isaiah is or if you heard of him, but
Yeah.
Bryce was in Cagayan,
Yes.
Survivor.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were friends on Instagram, and I just remember one day Sandra had posted about Survivor Philly, Survivor Philadelphia, and I asked him. I went to his DM. I was like, "Yo, what's this about? Like, I live close to Philly. Like, what is this?" Because I saw that he was in season one of that, and Bryce told me to apply. He said like, "You're gonna love it. Like, try it out." So I applied. I got through. It was just such a well done experience. They interview you multiple times. They kind of like get a good feel for what you might be bringing to the table. They do very well in casting diversity. I believe in my season, like I forget what the percentage was, but like hella LGBTQ plus, Latinos, everything.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Hell yeah. Yeah, like in the dance world, like I come from the dance world, so
yeah,
it's a lot of diversity in basically everything you just said. So I feel that this is what actually attracted me too when I started playing orgs was I saw the diversity, so it made me feel at home because like I said in the dance world, you just see dance. You don't see nothing else. You don't see size,
yeah,
color, none of that stuff. All you see is the dance moves, the feel, the vibes, the energy.
exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I feel those through orgs just through a screen. So I can imagine in an LRG actually being there, like because I've wanted to be on these shows. I've auditioned for them. I still do. I put in applications, and like so. I heard about LRGs before orgs. I actually heard or I saw it on Instagram. A couple had reached out to me. And I think because I'm such a big fan of reality TV and I have a bunch of reality friends, so I think with them seeing me like put comments and just
Yeah.
liking things, they started reaching out to me. So I was like, wow, I didn't even know this existed. And then obviously Kristen from Vanquish came to me at some point and was like, "Hey, you should try this. It's an org." And I was like, what is so yeah,
Yeah.
but it's definitely very diverse. It's definitely very accepting as well, and I think that's what attracts a lot of people to it.
Yeah.
What
But
about shows? Have you ever auditioned for shows or like sent in applications?
yeah, so that's kind of what kind of led to me being on a LRG. So I was applying for Survivor. Like I never watched Big Brother before I started playing in Orcs, but I was strictly like a big Survivor fanatic, like a super fan almost. And I applied maybe once or twice, but I remember I would even like YouTube or search online like what do they look for in these videos, or like what could help me get noticed.
Yeah,
And then I started noticing like certain players that they would help out with stuff, but then they also would like plug like these different online games, or I'm sorry, in-person games. And I remember seeing like a video of Cerise showing up at one of these live games and everybody losing their minds, and I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Like these people are out in a park, they're playing a game live, and actual Survivor people are showing up. I was like,
yeah.
I gotta get in there. Not to spend too much time on the LRG stuff, but just to kind of give you point of view on that. And what was your question again? I don't want to stray too far. I'm sorry.
Oh no, just have you applied for any shows? Any
Oh
real,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely applied. And speaking of that, I'm looking to apply to Big Brother now that I finally did all my research, watched pretty much all of the highlights of all the seasons.
Yep, yep.
Pretty much studied it like if I was getting ready for a quiz.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm telling you, it is something that you have to like continue to do. Some people get it on. Some people get on their first, like they can sit in audition tape. They're
yeah,
gonna get on quick. Some people do it 10 times before they get on, but eventually they learn what they need to do to. And but yeah, I definitely I've done my fair share of that as well. Um, but more and more recently, I've like wanted to do LRGs. Like I'm just seeing everybody doing them, and I'm like, man, I want to do this. Like so,
yeah. Give it a shot.
yeah, for
Especially if
sure.
you're like somebody like adventurous, like when they tell you to go, yeah, go into the woods, and this is your time to talk, and and get to know your team, yeah, I'm in the woods talking to people, but one of my eyes is looking around for idols and all that type of stuff. You get really enthralled into it. It's a real deep experience.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's also a good like if you do want to get on like actual shows, it's a good like stepping stone. Whether it's people seeing you out there doing it, like you say, there was some actually reality stars out there that showed up. You never know. One, it could be a casting director, it could be a friend of somebody, it could be
Yeah.
whatever. So, I definitely think it's also like you know, like you go to college, you play college ball before you go to the NFL or before you go to
Right.
so it's similar to that where you're getting this practice for you to be in the. And so that I mean, if you look at it like that too, like it's definitely something that like you want to continue to do.
Yeah.
I don't know, even if it's just like a hobby type thing. I mean, a lot of people watch these shows because it's just something to release, something to like it's like a guilty pleasure. And then there's some people, I'm not gonna lie, I've watched these shows forever and I've wanted to be on these shows, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I
Yep.
know I would do well if I got on there, whether it was physically or just whatever. I'm good. I'm a dancer like all my life. This is what I've done is talk to people and perform in front of
I got
people.
you.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so it's definitely yeah, it's something like you just got to go out there and do it. So I think this is why like orgs and LRGs and all this stuff has really like engulfed me, in the last in this time that I've been in it.
Right.
And but at the same time it's also making friends, it's also things like that. We've played a lot of the same games recently. We're in a lot of the same like chats that people make as far as after games and
Yeah.
all those things. And you really do build friendships there. You really do go there to release with other friends, whether it's talking shit or if it's just talking about something that's went on in your day, or whatever it can be. It's just very intriguing. It's an intriguing little world that we have here.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, and that's I'm kind of happy that you got me on because I've definitely I respect everyone you've had on so far, and you've had a lot of veterans and stuff like that. But I feel like I might be able to give you at least perspective on someone just a few months in. And I
Yeah,
know you have similar perspective yourself if you just started, but like definitely one thing I noticed is like, yeah, it could get messy, and I've seen a lot of people fight. Like I've seen I've seen I'm just 6 months into this, and I've seen already people go from being like best friends to enemies to being best friends again. So like I feel like one thing about these games is the fact that at a certain point, you're almost going to end up crossing paths with that person that you probably were trying to avoid, or you probably like had on your do not cast list or whatever it may be. And who knows, maybe through time or maybe through just like different connections, I do feel like these games do end up bringing people back together. Not to sound cheesy, but like even myself, like I've been throwing a shot at like hosting games, and I've had two people that you probably would never think would want to be in the same like call period were playing the same game, and one of them
yeah,
voted for the other one to win. You know what I mean? So like, that's one of my type of proudest things is trying to bring people together. I try to stay neutral, do a lot of stuff, and just try to be the outside looking in type of deal. But don't get me wrong, I've made a lot of good connections as well. Like you're one of the people that like I wouldn't mind going out grabbing a beer with type of deal. Like
yeah, for sure.
um and yeah, I don't want to sound cheesy or whatever, but yeah, I feel like there's something about these games that after a while people end up talking again, you know?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of this, well, let's say like 90% of the stuff is just game. It's all game. It's
Yep.
really just bullshitting. It's really, you're gonna have to. There's only one winner every time, maybe two at the most. You know what I mean? So it's
Hmm.
like everybody's gonna get crossed. Everybody's gonna get lied to. That's the point of the game. It's like we're playing
Yeah.
chess. Like I'm trying to juke you. I'm trying to
Yep.
throw you off, and so it just happens. But I mean, there is the stuff out there that does get personal.
Hmm.
There are certain games like Hellscape that are made for you to kind of get personal sometimes. Um, And like, so you really have to have the thick skin to not only to play in a game like that, but overall
Yeah.
you got to have some kind of thick skin or some ability to like forgive quickly, in a sense where it's like
Right.
everybody was gonna cross. Not everybody has to cross you in a game, but you're gonna get crossed at some point. Like that's and so you
Yeah.
just have to not take it personal. And there are people that take it personal. Don't get me wrong. Shit, those of in my first couple games when I got crossed, I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh, I was like,
Same.
what? Hold up, like you don't do
I
that. Like if this was
Anthony,
real life, it'd be different. You know what I'm saying?
one of my first games, like after Vanquish, I think it was like some random mini. I think either Chase was running it or Rhea or somebody, but Nathan was playing the game, and you know Nathan, right?
Oh my god, yes, I know Nathan. No,
So
I'll tell you why, but go.
Yeah, Nathan hits me up. And Nathan's like, "Hey, I've never seen you around before. Is this one of your first games?" So I'm introducing myself. I'm like, "Yeah, this is one of my first times. I watch the shows, so I have a good grasp for like alliance building and voting and all that. But I've never actually played one of these." So Nathan was like, "Oh, I got your back. I'm gonna take care of you." This this guy freaking turned on me middle of the game, took me out. I was like, "What the fuck?" I I quit
Hold on.
like
was 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 this a long game or a mini? A long
no,
game?
this was a mini, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this guy just told me all this shit, was telling me about like personal stuff. I'm like, I thought we connected. I thought I was good, and then like, what the
Yo,
hell?
check this. Nate, I love you, Nathan, but I gotta tell the story. Like my first Big Brother long game ever, and I love Big Brother. My first game ever was Survivor, and my first org was Survivor, but I didn't even know how to play Survivor like I know how to play Big Brother. So I played Big Brother right after that, and Nathan was in there. And at the beginning of the game, there was a point where we could have got him out, and we didn't. We saved him, and this was me and Andrea. This was Andrea.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we had this alliance. We saved Nathan, took him all the way. We made a final three with him. We were like all the way down to the six. Like we were like we're there. We're gonna make it. And Nathan crosses me, bro,
Yep.
nasty. And like so, I was like, wait, what? Like what the fuck is happening? Like I couldn't believe like that this is somebody was really doing this to me. Like just in real life, I was like. What the fuck? And so
Nah.
they ended up getting me out right there. And anyways, yeah. So that was
Nah.
my first
But
experience with Nathan. This is another thing for me. It doesn't matter if it's a mini, a long game, whatever. I do give people who are newer the benefit of the doubt, and I do open up to them. I do get a little bit vulnerable. So if in my first 1-2 games with you, you cross me really bad, I'm sorry. That's just how I'm gonna think of you forever. Not
yeah.
forever, forever, but you get what I'm saying. Like at least for a while. Like
I I don't think I do that, but I definitely will remember that, like, hey, this person maybe can't be trusted, type of thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
something like that. It's like I know this person is ruthless. I know they have it in them to
Yeah,
like cut you when they need to. Because there are people that don't. There are people that really will ride with you and just go down with you if they have to. You know what I'm
and
saying?
and and honestly, I'm thankful for Nathan, because once that happened,
Yep.
I woke up real quick. I got a
Yep.
lesson taught to me, and I've been on a tear ever since.
Yes, bro, that's crazy. Same situation. Right after that, I was mad for like 2 weeks, and then Nathan hit me up. Nathan hit me up and was like, "Yo, I got this mini tonight. You want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." And so I played one of his minis, and
Yep.
it was my first mini ever, and I made it to the final three, where I got cut by my person who was supposed to take me to the end, and so I got cut again like 2 times in a row, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, like." That's when I was like, this is part of the fucking game. Like I have to like deal with it. I have to learn these
Yeah.
things. So those are two experiences. Thankful for Nathan on both of them.
Oh
So
hell yeah.
yeah,
And actually,
man,
I
Nathan.
want.
Speaking
I
of Nathan, like he's definitely like a good like He's good at the game.
Yes.
He's good at hosting games. He's good at like just being friends. Like it's yeah,
Just overall,
yeah.
just an amazing person. And
But same for you, Johnny. Same for
oh, thank
you.
you.
And I've played your games, even though they're small games and you haven't really like put as much as you want into them, and I know you will at
Yeah.
some point.
Yeah.
But You're a great host. There was one game where I was at my parents' house and my family was in the background. We were all drinking and shit,
Yeah,
and they were just listening to you, and they were like, "Yo, he's fucking dope! Like he's so
I
definitely."
appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And so hosting you're dope, you're good in games, like all around good friendship. So if players could just be like that most of the time, we I think we'd move further in the org community because there's a lot of potential in this shit, you know?
Oh, for sure. I think that for at least for me comes from just all these amazing hosts I got to watch, like Rob James,
Yep.
Santi, Michael O'Rear, Chase. Like there's so many that like I see the everything they put into it and I'm just like wow, like, I'm not nowhere anywhere near their level.
Yeah.
I should mention Carlos too. Carlos has a great mini game too that I think people should check out.
Yep.
Um,
The challenge, yep.
but
He plays the
yeah, the
challenge.
challenge ones. Uh, um, but like mine are like simply like, hey, who's free in the next half hour? I need this many people. Let's get it going.
Yep.
And I try to keep it about like just social strategy, blindside stuff like that. Maybe the here and there some challenges. But for me, I love the social part of the game, and I love watching people go at it. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, for sure. And going back to the host too, I want to before we move on from that, I just want to say that like I don't know if a lot of people out there realize that like the host like and I've been seeing it more and more where like there's a lot of things that go into a lot of details that go into these things.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got to think about the games, the rules, you
Yep.
got to think about the graphics, you got to think about just the time frame. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. I mean, you got to have, and you got to think about having other people, prod members, help you and make sure
Exactly.
that they're trustworthy and that they're gonna, you know, what I'm saying there's a lot that goes into it. And so I
Yeah.
do give a lot of props to people who do these, who put a lot into it. But even like you, where you said you'll throw a mini together real quick in 2 hours, like that may be even harder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got to think about all the games, you got to think about all the rules, you got to you got to get
Yeah.
people together, and you're not like getting people to fill out applications or nothing. You're just taking
Nah.
the first 12 people to 16 people. So
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the worst person ever. Or it could be, you know what I'm saying? So
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm thankful that I've made so many great connections throughout these 6 months. Because whenever I do throw a little pop up like, "Hey, who wants to play a game?" I don't get just throwaway people. Like
no, for
I'm
sure.
getting I'm getting heavy hitters. I'm getting people coming out of retirement. Like Jalen won like two of my games. You
Yep.
know, I got a good list of winners. But one thing I did want to touch on, I guess I don't know if you're gonna speak on it or ask me about it, but I know you mentioned like Hellscape, and I just wanted to say like I love that game so much. Like I love there's so many different games and aspects. Like I love a good blind side and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's something about like just no holds barred as long as everyone is understanding of like what lines not to fully cross, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I love that they nominate in public. I love that it's all in one room. I think just playing a lot of O'Rear's games got me used to the one room thing.
Yeah.
And don't
Yep.
get me wrong, I've won hella breakout room games and stuff, but if you ask me where my heart is, it's definitely in like that one room experience where everyone sees what's going on and you
Yeah.
have that knowledge going forward, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. A lot of
I
props to
could.
those hosts that create their own games because again, just like in the reality TV world, we're all in this literally because of that. We watch
Yep.
Survivor, we watch The Challenge, we watch Bad Girls Club, Real World, whatever you watched. There was an aspect of that you liked about it that grasped you in and made you watch over and over and over and season again. You know, so um, so for instance, like Hellscape, it's definitely different than the typical Big Brother long game or Big Brother mini. You know, it's definitely there's different aspects to it. So those things really attract you, and depending on how your gameplay is. So let's say you're a little bit more of an aggressive player and you go into one of these games that are just like a little bit more lighthearted, it's harder for you to really be yourself in there. You know what I mean? But like if you're more of an
Right.
aggressive player and you go into like a hellscape, you're able to release more. And so I've seen people that I've seen, let's say like a Miranda. I've played a long game with her before where she's more quiet, reserved, and
Yeah.
chilled. But then when you put her in hellscape, she's definitely more of like her own self, her character, and like that's great because that's
Yeah.
what brought her real self out, and that's great because there's not a lot of games like that too. So,
And it's funny
um,
because like I don't know if you ever see me in certain games. Like if somebody comes, normally if somebody just says my name, I'll pop off. But like if somebody comes definitely disrespectful to me or something, I'll lose it sometimes, or not really lose it, but like I'll show them I'm not somebody you're just gonna walk over. So when I found out that there's Hellscape, I'm like, oh, this is where I belong. So
yeah,
now I kind of help out a little bit with recruiting. So I'm very thankful that they brought me in a little bit in the behind the scenes. So what I do kind of is, I get a good feel for people I've either interacted with in the past that play these games, or I just I normally try to play a game here and there. So I'm always finding new people that don't even know what that this game existed, and bringing them in. So I can't wait for you to see some people that I'm going to be contributing soon.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
But I know we're probably going to close this out soon, so I just want to like remind that whoever's listening to this, you could check me out in action, premiering Tuesday. Well, this is getting filmed on a Tuesdays, or recorded on a Tuesday, so it's premiering tonight. But regardless, you can watch Survivor Philadelphia season 3 every Tuesday. It's gonna be every episode's
Okay.
premiering live on YouTube every Tuesday, 6 p.m. And you can see me at work. So I just
So
wanted to
that's
put
at
that out there.
that's at Survivor Philly on YouTube, right?
Yeah, Survivor Philly on YouTube, Survivor Philadelphia on Facebook, and if you want to find them on Instagram, it's at Survivor Philly.
Yep. And then of course you're at Johnny Orgs.
Yeah, you can find me at Johnny Orgs, and I'd be more than happy to play one of y'all minis or to host you in a mini. But I'm all about the vibes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. To close out, yeah, I just wanted to say I appreciate you coming on. Like you did, you've made an impact. Like I said, we're in some chats together, even with just some friends and things like that.
Yeah,
And we always have some great talks. It's always positivity, and
of
even when
course.
there's negative stuff, we work that stuff out. And those are the things that you really learn and build from in these games. Like,
Oh
and
yeah,
even with reality TV, a lot of them, whether they end up in like relationships or they end up just friends forever and things like that. I feel like that's a lot of what's gonna lead from all of this stuff. So,
agreed.
and you definitely help bring a lot of that together. So in different spaces. So appreciate you coming on. I know we can talk for a whole nother hour, so I definitely want to bring you on again later. But definitely wanted to get you on today because I know Survivor Philadelphia dropped today. I know you're in there. I know you're gonna do well. I know no matter what, you're gonna. It's gonna be some good TV. So. So make sure to tune into that. Everybody, Survivor Philly on YouTube. Like you said, every Tuesday they drop, right? And how many? Do you know
Every
how many episodes there are?
um, I don't know the exact number. I'm gonna assume maybe 14 or 13.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, whatever it is, we'll be watching it, supporting, seeing what goes on. You thinking about hosting anything coming up?
Oh, actually, yes. I have a game planned for this Friday night. So I hope everyone tunes in. We are going to be broadcasting that one live. I'm going to be hosting with the beautiful Nay and Kristen.
Yep.
We got the blessing from Simon. We're going to borrow the Hellscape format, and there's going to be a versus. So you can catch Team CT, big motherfucking CT, versus Team Michael. So it should be very exciting. I didn't reveal the cast just yet to the public, but when I tell you you're gonna want to tune in, you should motherfucking want to tune in and do so.
Hell yeah, hell yeah! I already know. Yeah, these Hellscape minis, they're definitely going to be something to watch because, again, just all around great concept. Shout out to Simon
Yeah.
and his whole team as well. The whole team, they do a great job at picking players. And even just in critical moments, they do a great job. So I've
Hmm.
experienced that myself. So they help me out. And so, anyways, shout out to that team. Shout out again, big shout out to all the hosts out there. I know you mentioned
Yeah.
Carlos before, because Carlos actually kind of just does it all on his own, and he does a really good job
Yeah.
throwing these challenge style games, and and just for any like a Nathan too. Nathan most of the time he
Oh
does it
yeah,
by
Nathan.
himself, or he
Hmm.
has one person helping him. But then I've also come across orgs where they have teams of like 5 to 10 people, and those
Right.
like a Vanquish and stuff like that. So definitely shout out to all those people. And but yeah, tune into Johnny's game on Friday. Also Hellscape, if you want to watch it, it pretty much comes out every Wednesday, Saturday. Um, so just go look that up at
Yeah.
Hellscape Dominion. Also follow Org Center, my group page where we post a bunch of stuff, and you have yours too, right?
Yeah, so O'Rear convinced me to make a page, so make sure y'all follow Smorgasbord.
Yep.
I will approve all requests to join.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Again, these things are very pivotal too. Like it doesn't matter how many of them are out there. Like it's all just promoting, and just like in the sports world, there's an ESPN in every freaking city. You know what I mean? So
yup.
like, and so the more we have, the better. The more we can get promo out there. Because again, there's a bunch of orgs out there that haven't been seen. There's a bunch of players that
Yeah.
haven't been seen yet. So let's just continue to build that. And I think as long as people like us who are invested in this stuff just continue to do it, we'll be in a good place and try to grow this. But again, appreciate you coming on. We'll talk
Thank
again
you.
soon. Like I said, we'll bring you on again soon for sure. And I'm gonna be watching Survivor Philadelphia, see what goes down.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for having me.
Alrighty, bro. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see ya.
All right, peace.